Grandma, will you be okay? Let's pray. Grandma is fighting hard. Up until yesterday, my mother-in-law Sophia was healthy, but she suffered a heart attack and collapsed. It was Clara, Sophia's granddaughter, who lives with her at the in-laws' house, who found Sophia. In front of the intensive care unit, we prayed desperately, but our prayers were in vain, and Sophia passed away. Sophia had 4 children, including my husband, but they came to the in-laws' house the morning after Sophia had passed away. Despite feeling distrustful towards them, we somehow managed to get through the funeral. A week after the funeral, just as daily life was starting to return to normal, I had sent our 2 children off to elementary school and kindergarten and was watering the flowers in the garden. The mailman came. Among the few postcards handed to me, there was a slightly thick envelope. What could this be? The address was written in familiar handwriting, and to my surprise, the sender was Sophia. I rushed inside the house, shocked. Taking a deep breath, I opened the envelope, and inside there was a letter and something else. Please read this without letting the children know. The letter began with this sentence and explained that it had been sent by a great friend of Sophia. It expressed gratitude towards me and shared her caring thoughts about the future of my children, Owen and Noel, and also Clara. Besides the letter, there was another piece of paper with a map drawn on it. I quickly contacted Clara, and we headed to the location indicated on the map. This is Sophia. She has been helping me until the very end. Clara, I've made up my mind. I'm supporting you, I said, making a strong resolution. My name is Emily. I live with my husband Art, our first-grade son Owen, and our 3-year-old daughter Noel. I got married at 32, which wasn't too late, but it took us a while to have children. I still remember how overjoyed I was when I finally became pregnant at 37. Upon becoming pregnant, I quit the company I had worked at for 15 years since graduating from college. My colleagues were sad to see me go, but as I had been leading a team and working overtime daily, I couldn't see myself continuing to work while raising a child. I wanted to cherish the time with the child who had finally come into our lives. However, I also felt like quitting work would mean being left behind by society, making it hard to make up my mind. When the kids go to kindergarten and you have some time, you could work a bit at our place. It's easier to accommodate sudden pickups since you're family, Sophia had said. It was these words from Sophia, who ran a bakery, that helped me decide to quit my job. Sophia lost her husband at a young age and raised 4 children on her own. A pro-mom, Sophia. Isn't this bread a bit too big? I'd ask. It's a hit. Eat up and work hard in the afternoon, she'd reply. She didn't sweat the small stuff, but she was more sensitive to others' feelings than anyone. When I was feeling down about not getting pregnant, she said, "Look ahead, that's right. Stop by the store before work starting tomorrow." From the next day, she began giving me sandwiches every day, knowing I had been settling for protein bars for lunch due to my busy schedule. Eat properly. Being healthy is what's important, she'd insist. She never said it outright, but she was looking out for me, trying to get my body in better condition for pregnancy. My sister-in-law, Charlie, Lana, and brother-in-law, Paul, had all married and had children early. By this time, Sophia already had 11 grandchildren. Moreover, she lived with Charlie and her 3 children, who had moved back home after a divorce. The Lana and Paul families lived nearby. Sophia, who could see her 11 grandchildren anytime she wished, must have been satisfied. Yet she cried tears of joy for my pregnancy and birth. I have always, and still do, placed my absolute trust in her. 7 years into being a housewife and with Noel starting kindergarten, I decided to work at Sophia's bakery. Sophia, listen to this. Owen broke his umbrella again on his way home. I vented to Sophia about my children breaking 2 umbrellas in a few months while doing the dishes. I was very upset, but Sophia seemed unfazed by the story. It wasn't because a friend was being mean, right? No, he said he and a friend were competing to see who could dig deeper into the ground with their umbrellas. Having a competitive spirit is good. Plus, now he knows those umbrellas aren't for digging. Seeing Sophia laugh, I couldn't help but laugh as well. Yesterday's anger and unresolved feelings faded away. A mother should have this much leeway, I thought. Being with Sophia, I keep finding points to learn from. She was my ideal of a mother. By the way, Sophia, do you have any plans for this coming Sunday? Nothing at all. Everyone's busy, you know. Sophia looked a bit sad. The grandchildren living with her and those nearby are all middle school age or older now, busy with clubs and hanging out with friends. They don't pay much attention to her. So, Owen wants to go to a family restaurant. How about we go together? I'd be happy to see Owen and Noel. Thanks for always inviting me. Sophia smiled happily. She adores Owen and Noel very much, and the kids are very fond of her too. Ideally, I'd like to take the kids to visit the in-laws' house more often, but since Charlie lives there, it's not easy to just drop by. Even so, there's no parking at our place if she were to visit us. Art and I decided to invite Sophia out every 2 weeks or so for a meal or an outing to ensure the kids could spend time with their beloved grandmother. Eager to sit next to their favorite grandma, the kids compete for the seat next to Sophia every time. Watching them, Sophia would squint her eyes in amusement. Is Art working today too? Yes, he's been busy since he became a manager. That's tough. Art used to join us, but recently, with his increasing weekend work, it's been just the three of us without Art. I wasn't too bothered by it. The kids are getting easier to handle, and work is work. However, I was concerned about the somewhat lonely look Sophia would sometimes show. Next time, I'll check Art's off days before inviting you. Sophia shook her head, smiling. Don't worry about it. I'm really happy just to be with you all. Saying that, she took a small box out of her bag. Sophia smiled and carefully opened the box. This is my treasure box. This ring was a gift from your father, and this necklace was the first thing. I bought this with my first paycheck, filled with memories. The treasure box made me smile too. What about this one in the bag? I pointed to a small trinket box. Open it when I say it's okay. Sophia laughed innocently. I'm giving my treasure box to you, Emily. I'm not really at the age to dress up anymore. Saying that, Sophia carefully closed the box and placed it in front of me. But such important things. I want you to have them too, my dear daughter. Sophia's words deeply touched me. I'll take good care of it. Sophia, smiling, gently hugged Owen, sitting next to her. It's not fair. Only Owen gets a hug. Grandma, hug Noel too. I'll give you a hug when we go outside later, Sophia soothed Noel, who puffed up her cheeks with a gentle look. With so much love for her grandchildren and even for me, her daughter-in-law, she must cherish Art, her own child, very much. Feeling a bit sad that Art doesn't seem to realize the depth of a mother's love, I resolved to let Sophia see a healthy and lively Art next time. However, that never came to be. One holiday, I was out with the two kids. Is Grandma coming soon? We had invited Sophia, but she had an appointment at the hairdresser in the morning, so we planned to meet at the restaurant for lunch. Owen and Noel were waiting for Sophia's arrival in front of the restaurant, but Sophia didn't show up at the agreed time. I tried calling her several times, but she didn't answer. Professionally, Sophia always made it a point to answer the phone within 3 rings. It was a habit ingrained in her, and she would answer within 3 rings even outside of the bakery. Yet today, she didn't pick up even after 10 rings. Being as reliable as she is, if she were delayed at the hairdresser, she would definitely let us know. What could have happened? I started to worry. Even after waiting 30 minutes, Sophia didn't show up, and she still wasn't answering her phone. Are we still waiting? I'm hungry. Me too. I want to eat soon. The kids were getting cranky from hunger, but I hesitated to go into the restaurant without Sophia. Have some gummies for now. Grandma will call. Let's wait a little longer for Grandma. I handed out gummies to the kids and pondered. Could something have happened? Maybe I should check the in-laws' house. Then my phone rang. Clara? The caller ID showed not Sophia, but Clara, Charlie's youngest daughter. Hello, Clara. Good timing. Is Grandma there? Emily, Clara, what happened? I asked if Sophia was at home, but Clara on the other end of the phone seemed to be crying and had trouble speaking. Grandma's collapsed, Emily. What do I do? I could hear Clara's voice trembling weakly. Sophia has... It can't be true, can it? I was at a loss for words. It sounded like Clara was panicking, with her sobs coming through the phone. I tried to calm her down. It's okay. Take a deep breath. I was honestly very shaken, but I knew as an adult I couldn't afford to panic. I gripped the shaking phone tightly. Where did Grandma collapse? At the entrance. I'll call an ambulance right away. Stay by her side. We'll be there as soon as we can. After hanging up, I immediately called for an ambulance to the in-laws' house. Is Grandma sick? The kids looked at me anxiously. It seems so. Let's go to Grandma's place now. I took the kids' hands and headed for the parking lot. On the way, I stopped by a convenience store to buy hot dogs so the hungry kids could eat something in the car. Grandma likes cheese. Saying that, Owen confidently picked up a hot dog for Sophia. I'll share this chocolate with Grandma. Noel innocently tossed some candy into the basket. Sophia, please wake up for these kids. You have to pull through, I fervently hoped. On our way to the in-laws' house, I received a call from Clara telling me Sophia was being transported to the university hospital. We rushed to the hospital. Upon arrival, Clara was sitting alone, hunched over in front of the ICU. Clara, Emily. As she looked up, tears streamed down Clara's face one after another. You did well on your own. It's okay now. I sat next to Clara and rubbed her back. After calming down a bit, Clara shared what happened when she found Sophia. Clara, a senior in high school, was supposed to go to her club activity in the morning. She returned home before noon, tried to unlock the front door, but found it already open. Feeling suspicious yet proceeding, she opened the door to find Sophia had collapsed. I'm sorry for calling out of the blue. Mom, Dylan, Mona, no one answered their phones. Emily, you were the only one I could turn to, Clara said, looking apologetic. No, thank you for calling. We had plans to meet Grandma for lunch. She didn't show up and we couldn't get in touch with her, so we were worried. But to think she had collapsed. I regretted not heading to the in-laws' house immediately when we couldn't contact her. Then hospital staff approached us. They informed us that Sophia had suffered a myocardial infarction. Her condition was critical when she was brought in, and while they were doing their best, there was no guarantee she would survive. We need to inform everyone. Clara and I attempted to contact family members, but no one answered their phones. Why isn't anyone answering at a time like this? I was frustrated that even Art was unreachable. Lately, Art had been not only working on weekends, but also coming home late on weekdays. He often came back slightly drunk, claiming it was for work socials or to cheer up his subordinates, but it was clear he had been neglecting his family. Sophia wanted to see you. I get it. I'll make sure to join next time. Despite saying that, Art would leave the house, saying work came up even on his days off. Work or family, which is more important? This incident occurred while I harbored unresolved feelings towards Art. Sophia is in critical condition and needs your attention immediately. Please contact us as soon as possible. I sent this message but received no replies from Sophia or any of the siblings. Do Charlie, Dylan, and Mona always not answer like this? I asked, and Clara nodded. My family, they're all very independent. It's always been just Grandma and me for dinner. Is that so? I had no idea. Sophia never mentioned such things to me. According to Clara, Charlie hardly ever took care of the house and often disappeared when the kids were young. Sophia had repeatedly reprimanded Charlie for such behavior. You're the mother of 3 kids. But Mom, you're better at housework and childcare than I am. Well, I raised 4 kids, of course I am, but you'll get better at it day by day if you keep at it every day. Sophia tried to make Charlie act more motherly, but Charlie remained unchanged, prioritizing herself first, going out whenever she liked, and returning home whenever she pleased. Thus, Sophia, while working, always managed to take care of Clara and her siblings with a smile without fail. However, having grown up seeing such a mother, Clara's siblings now do not feel grateful towards Sophia, leaving all household tasks to her and living as they please. Come to think of it, I always heard about Clara from Sophia. I remembered. Clara makes the best hamburgers in the world. Or, when Sophia started having trouble threading needles because of her eyesight, Clara bought her a needle threader. Grandma always talked about Clara with a smile. Hearing my story, tears welled up in Clara's eyes again. Will Grandma be okay? Let's pray. Grandma is fighting hard. But despite our hopes, Sophia passed away. Looking at Sophia lying on the bed, She seemed to be just sleeping with her usual gentle expression. "Grandma, we brought you a hot dog. Let's share this chocolate together." The kids, mistaking her for sleeping, spoke to Sophia. "Grandma won't wake up anymore. She's gone to heaven." "Where is heaven? Is it a nice place?" "It's a very nice place. Grandma must be happy there, meeting Grandpa." I mulled over my own words. Yes, Sophia must have finally met the husband she longed to see. I hoped they would enjoy their time together now. Thinking this, I found myself unable to cry. After receiving explanations from the hospital and discussing the next steps, we headed to the in-laws' house to prepare for the funeral. Despite it being late, no one was at the in-laws' house. In the kitchen, dinner was prepared, probably stew for dinner, enough for a family of 5. Always preparing meals for everyone, not knowing when they would come home or if they would eat, Sophia must have cared until the end. The greatness and kindness of Sophia made my heart heavy. Colleagues from Sophia's bakery also came to help. "We want to be of some help to Sophia," they said, helping with the funeral preparation while sharing memories of Sophia. We worked together to prepare. Only Clara knew about the house. But there were things even she, still a high school student, didn't understand, making the preparation difficult. Charlie, whom we thought would return eventually, did not come back, and there was no contact with any of the siblings. Despite having a lot on my mind, I focused solely on Sophia and took initiative. The siblings didn't arrive at the in-laws' house until the next morning. "What were you doing until now?" I gave Art a cold look. There was trouble at work. I was completely dismayed that even after his own mother had passed away, Art was still making excuses about work. Not just Art, none of the siblings, including Charlie, expressed gratitude for staying by Sophia's side or for the funeral preparations. "See you at the funeral then. Call me anytime if you need anything." Sensing the odd atmosphere, the colleagues left. During the funeral, Clara and I, despite our grief, fulfilled our roles as family members, but Sophia's own children ignored their responsibilities. Thinking about these 4 disrupted my peace of mind. I focused on the last moments with Sophia. A week after the funeral, as daily life slowly returned and I sent the kids off to school and kindergarten, the mailman arrived. Among a few postcards, there was a slightly thick envelope. What could this be? The handwriting on the address was familiar, and to my surprise, the sender was Sophia. I rushed inside the house, shocked. Taking a deep breath, I opened the envelope, and inside was a letter and something else. Please read this without letting the kids notice. The letter started with this sentence, explaining it was sent by a dear friend of Sophia, expressing gratitude towards me and her caring thoughts for the future of Owen, Noel, and Clara. Besides the letter, there was another piece of paper with a map drawn on it. I quickly contacted Clara and headed to the location indicated on the map. Sophia has been helping me until the very end. Clara, I've made up my mind. I'll support you. Emily, I made a firm resolution. A month later, we were called to the in-laws' house by a lawyer. Besides us, Charlie's family, Lana's family, and Paul's family were also gathered there. It turned out that Sophia had prepared a will during her lifetime and entrusted it to the lawyer. The will given by the lawyer stated, divide everything equally among Charlie, Art, Lana, and Paul into 4 parts. I thought I might as well go upstairs and take care of the kids since I'm not involved. Just as I was about to stand up, I heard unbelievable words. Annoying as she was, it's good she left us an inheritance. The speaker was Art. Really, putting up with her was worth it. The 4 of them mocked Sophia. At that moment, my anger reached its peak. I don't want anything to do with you anymore, and that includes you. Saying so, I slammed the pre-filled divorce papers on the table. The room fell silent. What's this all of a sudden? It's thanks to my working that you all can live, you know. Art glared at me, but I glared back without backing down. Working late on weekends and evenings was for affairs, wasn't it? I have proof. Saying so, I spread out the infidelity investigation report on the table. Actually, the letter from Sophia included a key to a coin locker at the location marked on the map. When Clara and I opened the coin locker, we found the infidelity investigation report on Art. Sophia must have felt something was off with Art's recent work on weekends. This must be a mother's intuition. Sophia had secretly hired a detective agency to gather evidence of Art's affairs. I was really taken aback because I hadn't suspected infidelity at all. I don't need the inheritance or alimony. Just sign the divorce papers now and never involve yourself with me or the kids again. I raised my voice, not wanting to stay with someone who neglects his family any longer. Art momentarily grimaced, but then laughed. Fine by me. I'll get to use Grandma's inheritance money all by myself. Convenient. Saying so, he signed the divorce papers without hesitation. You should get that promise in writing since we have a lawyer here. Clara's voice came from the side. Right. Saying you don't want alimony now, don't want alimony, but I can see you coming back crying about it later, just like my daughter, Charlie praised Clara. Clara was trying to give me advice, but I decided to have the lawyer draft a document detailing the divorce restrictions without retorting. After finishing the discussion about the divorce, I left the in-laws' house with the kids. On my way out, I asked, the things I received from Sophia during her lifetime aren't part of the inheritance, right? Can I keep them? Like that jewelry box full of junk? Feel free to take whatever, Charlie said. The siblings, preoccupied with the inheritance, quickly dismissed me and the kids as outsiders. Then we headed straight to my parents' house. Welcome back. We've put your things in your room, they said. I had informed my parents about Sophia's infidelity, discovery, and the divorce. My parents' home was far away, and though I considered moving within the school district for the kids, being unemployed made it challenging. The adaptability of kids is amazing. My mother's words pushed me to decide to temporarily return to my parents' house. It was immediately clear that this was the right decision. Visits to my parents' house had been rare, once a year, if at all. Initially, the kids were nervous about living with my parents, but soon grew attached. Grandpa, let's play catch, Owen said. Unlike Art, who rarely engaged with him, Owen started playing catch with my affectionate father, Joseph. Grandma, what's this flower? Noel asked, who had been missing Sophia. He began enjoying the garden flowers with my knowledgeable mother, Malene. They gradually adjusted to their new schools, and a modest yet peaceful life began for us. Around 3 months later, I received a call from Art. You deceived us, didn't you? It seemed he was talking about the jewelry box I had received from Sophia during her lifetime. I heard from Charlie that it contained a gem worth $500,000. In fact, besides the evidence of Art's infidelity, there was another letter inside the coin locker. The letter mentioned the treasure box I had received from Sophia. Inside the mentioned container, which Sophia had said I could open when it was okay, was an alexandrite gem valued at around $500,000. Thanks to this gem, I was able to make a swift decision to divorce Art. Apparently, Charlie had eavesdropped on my conversation with Clara about the phone and became aware of the gem's existence. That's why I asked if it was okay to keep the things Mom gave me before. That's dishonest, Art said over the phone. I could sense he was fuming with anger. No wonder they were now shouldering debts divided into 4. Aside from the inheritance, I was completely unaware of the debt. Later, Clara informed me over the phone that Sophia had incurred a $50 million debt 5 years ago for the renovation costs of her shop. Had she not purchased that gem for me, she wouldn't have had to take on such a massive debt. But this was Sophia's kindness. Grandma always appreciated how kind you were to her, Emily said. With Uncle and Aunt behaving the way they do, she was even more grateful that you became part of the family. Sophia wanted to express her gratitude to me in any way she could. Regarding the $50 million debt, she intended to work and pay it off herself. Had Art and his siblings been kinder to Sophia, she might not have left them with the debt. It was their responsibility. I hope they deeply reflect on their actions. Afterward, Art called several times, but thanks to the agreement we made during the divorce, I managed to fend him off. Not only Art, but the other siblings also tried contacting me. After I warned them that I'd consult the police if they contacted me again, the calls stopped. According to Clara, the 4 siblings finally realized they had to manage on their own. Now they are arguing over whether to sell the family home. Charlie wants to continue living in the rent-free family home, while Art and the others want to sell it to lighten the debt load. Though they seemed united in mocking Sophia, ultimately, they were people who could only think of themselves. I was truly glad to have cut ties with such people. However, I've continued to keep in touch with Clara. When she moved for college, she ended up living alone near my parents' house. Coincidentally, Owen said, "I'll help you with your homework." "Yay, I love Clara because she's so kind-hearted," Owen added. Clara is now studying to be a nurse in college, wanting to help people like Sophia. Though her mother, Charlie, is unreliable, Clara has been working hard, achieving a scholarship that covers her tuition and managing her living expenses with part-time jobs and scholarships. When Clara decided on her college, I offered to sell the gem to cover her college expenses, but she refused. "I want to show Grandma that I can live a proper life and get a good job on my own," Clara said. Hearing Clara's determination, I decided to quietly support her. Clara, and with her kindness and strong will surely become a wonderful woman like Sophia. When that time comes, I plan to give her a part of the money from selling the gem. After all, Clara was the granddaughter who always stayed by Sophia's side. Now I'm also looking for a job, not to be outdone by Clara. I'm considering starting my own business that I can manage while raising my children, and my plans are gradually coming together. This is all thanks to the treasure box left by Sophia. I'll use a part of the initial investment from the sale of the gem, but I plan to raise my children with the money I earn on my own. "I want to go to Finland to see the aurora," Owen said while working on his homework with a world map drawn on it. Recently, Owen has taken a great liking to the globe we bought him, showing off his knowledge about countries around the world. "I want to meet Santa. I'd like somewhere warm, like Thailand," Noel said. Everyone shared their dreams of places they wanted to visit. "That's it," I said. "Let's use the money left by Sophia to visit places the kids and Clara want to see. It will undoubtedly enrich their lives with new experiences. Just the thought of it excites me. Sophia, thanks to you, we can spend our days with smiles on our faces. Please keep watching over us."